President Obama is having some issues with his helicopter. First, the proposed new fleet of 28 Marine One helicopters is massively over budget, each one proposed at now costing more than Air Force One. That caused John McCain to publicly holler at the president at the White House Fiscal Responsibility Summit, whereupon President Obama took the wind right out of his sails by saying he had already asked the Defense Secretary, Bob Gates, to review the Marine One program. Now it appears the helicopters are at the center of a security breach. NBC's Pittsburgh affiliate WPXI reports that detailed files about the new high-tech Marine One were discovered at an IP address abroad in Iran. A Pennsylvania-based company which monitors peer-to-peer file-sharing networks found these sensitive files and then traced them back to the source, reportedly a computer at a defense contractor in Maryland. But how did these sensitive files get from that defense contractor to Iran and who knows where else? Joining us now is Rick Earl. He's an investigative reporter with WPXI in Pittsburgh. He broke this Marine One story on air. Mr. Earl, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Rachel, you're quite welcome. Pleasure to be here.
How did these blueprints from Marine One, this other sensitive information about the president's helicopter, end up on a computer abroad?
Well, that's the big question everybody here wants to know, and it appears that this company that's based just outside of Pittsburgh here, a company by the name of Tyversa, they monitor these file-sharing network, these file-sharing programs, and they were able to track these blueprints from Marine One. They found them out there on the World Wide Web. They apparently had been downloaded on a computer that was using this file-sharing networks. Now, those are file-sharing networks like LimeWire, BearShare, those networks that people use routinely to exchange music or videos. Apparently, someone with this defense contracting company was using that program on their computer, and those sensitive Marine One documents were somehow downloaded out onto the World Wide Web through this file-sharing network, and they wound up traced to this computer in Iran, and that's where this company, Tyversa, found those documents just last week. So it's just an incredible story here.
Do we know that this is something that foreign governments, foreign intelligence agencies do, that they troll the internet looking for computers that might have peer-to-peer sharing software on them and therefore might offer access to the files on their hard drives?
You know, that's a very good question, and that's one we asked retired General Wesley Clark. He's also a board member on with this company, Tyversa, and he says, yeah, that's what they do. He says they're out there perusing these file-sharing programs, looking for sensitive documents such as this about Marine One. You can find a host of other things out there as well. I mean, we're talking everything from tax returns to any confidential information that you may have on your computer. If you have one of these file-sharing programs on there, it opens everything up on your hard drive to the World Wide Web, and people have access to that. So anything can be compromised.
It's one thing to imagine your own personal information, your own personal financial information, even a company's financial information. But this is the blueprints, all the avionics information for Marine One. What did this internet security company do after they discovered these Marine One files? And has the White House had any reaction to this?
Well, this internet security company immediately contacted the federal government and alerted them about what they perceived to be a real big breach of security here. They said they are working with the federal government to get to the bottom of all of this right now. They said they've also been in contact with the Secret Service working on this. Now, we called the White House over the weekend when the story broke. We couldn't get a response from them over the weekend, but we did talk to them today, and they referred us to the Department of the Navy. The Department of the Navy, meanwhile, says they are aware of this and they are looking into this. But again, it's a very serious issue here, and General Clark told us the other day that this is something that the government really needs to look at and really needs to clamp down on, whether you monitor this in real time, have someone actually sitting there monitoring these file sharing programs so you can see what's going out, so you can put a stop to it, or whether you go to the extent of encrypting some of these documents. So there are some ways you can actually prevent this, but he says the government has to be more diligent when it comes to monitoring this stuff.
Rick Earl, investigative reporter with WPXI in Pittsburgh. Congratulations on this scoop. Incredible and scary story. Thanks. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you.